Welcome to the land of broken promises and $8 heads of lettuce. You landed at Pearson or Vancouver International with a suitcase full of dreams and a bank account full of life savings, thinking you'd finally made it. But there is a shadow fact that the glossy immigration brochures never mention. Canada is no longer the land of opportunity for the middle class. It has become a sophisticated wealth extraction machine. The moment you step off that plane, a timer starts. Every hour you spend breathing Canadian air costs you more than you ever imagined. We're going to talk about the visceral pain of watching your savings evaporate in a Loblaws checkout line, while you realize that your high-status degree from back home might only get you a job delivering Uber Eats in a snowstorm. This isn't just about budgeting. It's about a systemic trap that preys on the optimism of newcomers. By the end of this video, you will understand the one mistake that is more dangerous than high rent, more lethal than the CRA, and more subtle than the big five banks' hidden fees. But first, we have to look at the first trap you walked into before you even left the airport. Do you know why the banks were so eager to give you that first credit card? The credit score trap is the first major hurdle. In your home country, perhaps cash was king, or debt was something to be avoided at all costs. But in Canada, the system is designed to force you into debt just to prove you are trustworthy. The big banks, RBC, TD, Scotiabank, they see you coming. They offer newcomer packages with a shiny credit card and a small limit. You feel empowered. You start spending, thinking you'll just pay it back. But here is the sting. Without a Canadian credit history, you are essentially a ghost. To get an apartment in the GTA or Vancouver, you need a score. To get a phone plan, you need a score. To get a car, you need a score. Newcomers often make the fatal mistake of either avoiding credit entirely, leaving them unable to rent a decent home, or worse, they treat credit as an extension of their income. They don't realize that a 20% interest rate on a small balance can snowball into a mountain of debt faster than a prairie blizzard. You are building a foundation on quicksand, and the banks are the ones selling you the shovels. But the credit trap is only the beginning. Have you noticed the price of a simple grocery run lately? It's not just inflation, it's a targeted squeeze on your survival. Let's talk about the Loblaws sticker shock. You walk into a grocery store expecting to find affordable sustenance, but instead you find prices that feel like a personal insult. A pack of chicken breasts for $25, a bag of grapes for $12. This is the visceral reality of the Canadian cost of living crisis. Newcomers often make the mistake of trying to maintain their home country diet using imported goods, or they shop at the convenient big box stores without realizing they are being gouged by a retail oligopoly. The emotional pain of spending $300 on groceries and realizing your fridge is still half empty is a rite of passage no one wants. You start calculating your hourly wage against the price of a gallon of milk. If you earn $20 an hour and after taxes you walk away with $15, you just spent 2 hours of your life for a basic breakfast. This is the time value trap. You are trading your life for calories in a country that is increasingly unaffordable for the people who keep it running. And while you're worrying about the price of eggs, the biggest predator in the Canadian ecosystem is waiting for its cut. Do you know how much of your paycheck is actually yours and how much belongs to the CRA? The CRA tax bite is a cold, hard slap in the face for those used to lower tax jurisdictions. Newcomers often look at their gross salary and think they are wealthy. They see $60,000 or $80,000 a year and imagine a life of luxury. Then the first paycheck hits. Federal tax, provincial tax, CPP, EI. It's like a group of strangers reached into your pocket and took 30% before you even saw it. The mistake isn't just paying the tax, it's not understanding how to protect your money from it. Many immigrants wait years before opening a TFSA or an RRSP because the acronyms sound like a foreign language. They leave their money in a high-interest savings account that pays 1%, while inflation is at 4%. In reality, you are losing money every single day that your cash sits idle. The government isn't going to teach you how to pay less tax. That's a secret you have to learn on your own. But even if you master the tax code, you still have to find a place to sleep. And in Canada, the roof over your head is the most expensive thing you will ever buy, and it might just be the thing that breaks you. The Canadian housing market is a nightmare wrapped in a crisis inside an enigma. If you are aiming for the GTA or the GVA, you are entering one of the most distorted real estate bubbles in human history. Newcomers often make the mistake of renting the dream, spending 50% or even 60% of their take-home pay on a glass box in the sky just to be near a subway station. This is financial suicide. The emotional toll of knowing that one job loss or one rent hike could put you on the street is a constant low-grade fever of anxiety. We see the headlines about rent evictions and skyrocketing interest rates, but we think it won't happen to us. The reality is that the middle class is being pushed further and further to the margins. You might find yourself living in a basement apartment in Brampton or a shared room in Surrey, wondering if this is what you sacrificed everything for. The curiosity gap here is, why are people still buying? Because the system tells you that if you don't buy now, you'll be locked out forever. This FOMO, fear of missing out, is a weaponized emotion used to drive newcomers into massive, unmanageable mortgages. But what if the house isn't an asset? What if in this economy, it's a liability?
Then comes the good debt myth. In Canada, you are told that certain debts are investments. A car loan is often the first big mistake. You see everyone driving a shiny SUV or a Tesla, and you think, I need that to survive the Canadian winter. So you sign up for a 7-year loan at 8% interest. You've just committed a massive chunk of your future income to a depreciating hunk of metal that will be worth half its value in 3 years. This is the lifestyle inflation trap. Newcomers feel a deep, visceral need to look successful to their friends and family back home. They post photos of their new car or their brand name winter gear while their bank balance is screaming in agony. The pressure to perform success is a silent killer of wealth. You are competing with people who have been in the system for 30 years and have home equity to burn. You are starting from zero, but you are trying to run the race at the same speed as the leaders. This leads to a cycle of payday to payday living that is incredibly hard to escape. And speaking of winter, have you factored in the hidden costs of just staying warm in this country? Winter in Canada isn't just a season, it's a financial drain. For a newcomer, the first winter is a shock to the system and the wallet. You need high-quality parkas, boots that can handle negative 30 degrees, winter tires for that car you probably shouldn't have bought, and a heating bill that looks like a phone number. Many make the mistake of buying cheap gear, only to have it fail when the real cold hits, forcing them to spend twice as much in the long run. It's a metaphor for the entire Canadian experience. If you don't pay the quality tax up front, the environment will extract it from you later with interest. This constant drip, drip, drip of expenses, the $50 here for salt, the $200 there for a heater, erodes your ability to save. You start to feel like you're treading water in an icy lake. The curiosity gap is, how do some people thrive while others freeze? The secret isn't in how much they earn, but in how they've structured their Canadian life to resist these shocks. But most newcomers are too busy trying to find their first Canadian experience job to worry about structure. And that brings us to the employment trap, the most heartbreaking mistake of all. The Canadian experience requirement is a polite way of saying your previous life doesn't count. This is where the emotional pain becomes visceral. You were an engineer, a doctor, or a manager in your home country, and now you are told you need to start from the bottom. The biggest money mistake here isn't taking a lower job, it's staying in it too long. Newcomers often get stuck in survival jobs, the survival trap, where they work 50 hours a week just to pay the rent we talked about earlier. They are so exhausted that they don't have the time or energy to get their credentials recognized or to network into their actual field. Their skills begin to atrophy. 5 years later, they are still in that temporary warehouse job. The opportunity cost is millions of dollars over a lifetime. This is the disappearing middle class in action. The system takes high human capital individuals and uses them for low-skilled labor to keep the gears of the economy turning. To escape this, you have to be more than a worker. You have to be a strategist. But it's hard to be a strategist when the Bank of Canada keeps moving the goalposts on your mortgage or your line of credit. Let's talk about the Bank of Canada and the interest rate roller coaster. For a decade, money was cheap. Newcomers arrived and saw people taking out huge loans, so they did the same. Then the rate started climbing. If you have a variable rate mortgage or a line of credit, you've watched your monthly payments jump by hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. The mistake? thinking that current conditions are permanent conditions. Canada's economy is heavily tied to the housing market and interest rates. When the BOC raises rates to fight inflation, it's the newcomers and the young families who feel the squeeze first. You are the collateral damage in the fight for price stability. The pain of seeing your mortgage trigger rate hit, where your entire payment only covers the interest and you aren't even paying down the house anymore, is a financial ghost story that is currently a reality for thousands. You are essentially paying rent to the bank for a house you supposedly own. This is the illusion of homeownership in the modern Canadian landscape. And while you struggle with the bank, you're also likely making the TFSA versus RRSP blunder that will haunt your retirement. The TFSA and RRSP are the two most powerful tools for a Canadian, but most newcomers use them completely wrong. A common mistake is treating the TFSA, the tax-free savings account, as a simple savings account. They put cash in it, earn 1% interest, and think they are winning. In reality, the TFSA is a powerful investment vehicle. By not investing that money in the stock market or ETFs, you are missing out on decades of tax-free compounding. On the flip side, people jump into RRSPs too early. If you are in a low tax bracket because you are still in a survival job, the tax deduction of an RRSP is worth very little. You're locking your money away for a small benefit today when you might need that cash to survive or to invest in your education. It's a lack of financial sequencing. You are doing the right things, but in the wrong order. This is like trying to build the roof of a house before the foundation is poured. But why don't people know this? Because they get their advice from the very people who profit from their ignorance, the bank advisors who are actually just salespeople. The bank advisor is not your friend. This is a hard truth for many newcomers who come from cultures where bank employees are respected authorities. In Canada, a financial advisor at a retail bank branch is often a salesperson with a quota to fill. They will steer you toward high-fee mutual funds, sometimes with MER, or management expense ratios of 2% or more. Over 20 years, these fees can eat up nearly half of your total investment gains. They don't tell you about low-cost index funds or ETFs because they don't make a commission on them. This is the quiet theft of your future. You think you are investing for your children's education or your own retirement, but you are actually subsidizing the bank's quarterly profits. The visceral pain here is invisible until it's too late, until you're 65 and realize your nest egg is 40% smaller than it should be. The curiosity gap. How do the wealthy avoid this? They don't use retail advisors. They use logic, education, and independent platforms. But to do that, you need to stop trusting the system and start trusting the math. Let's talk about the remittance pressure. For many new Canadians, the struggle isn't just about their own survival, it's about the expectations of those back home. You are the one who made it. Your family expects you to send money back for weddings, medical bills, or just daily life. The mistake is overextending. You send $500 a month when you can only afford $100. You put your own financial oxygen mask on second. This creates a cycle where you can never build an emergency fund in Canada. If your car breaks down or you lose your job, you have zero buffer. The emotional guilt of saying no to family is a weight that many newcomers carry in silence. It's a cultural tax that can prevent you from ever reaching the middle class in your new home. You are living a double life, a wealthy person in the eyes of your home country and a struggling laborer in Canada. Breaking this cycle requires a brutal honesty that many aren't prepared for. But if you don't break it, you will never truly arrive in Canada. You will just be a ghost passing through. Then there is the education debt loop. Many newcomers think the only way to get that Canadian experience is to go back to school. They take out massive student loans for a one-year post-grad certificate that promises a job but delivers nothing but a piece of paper and a debt balance. The mistake is not researching the return on investment. Not all Canadian credentials are created equal. Some colleges are diploma mills that cater specifically to immigrants, providing low-value education at high-value prices. You end up with a $20,000 debt and the same job prospects you had before. The pain of realizing your investment was actually a scam is a reality for thousands of international students and new PRs. You have to ask yourself, is this degree going to increase my income by more than the cost of the loan? If the answer isn't a resounding yes, you are just buying a very expensive lottery ticket. The disappearing middle class is paved with people who thought one more certificate would be the key to the door. Insurance is another area where newcomers get blood dry. Whether it's car insurance in Ontario, some of the highest rates in the world, or life insurance policies that are sold as investments, the mistake is over-insuring or wrong insuring. You might be paying $400 a month for car insurance because you bought a brand new car and live in a high-risk postal code, like Brampton or North York. That's $4,800 a year just for the right to drive. When you add in the gas, maintenance, and the loan, you are working 3 months of the year just to support your car. This is mechanical slavery. The curiosity gap? Why do we do this? Because we are told that a car is a necessity in Canada. While that may be true in some areas, the type of car and the type of insurance are choices. The middle class is disappearing because they are making choices that prioritize convenience and status over equity. Every dollar you overpay in insurance is a dollar that isn't working for you in the market.
The side hustle exhaustion is a uniquely modern Canadian phenomenon. Because the cost of living is so high, many newcomers take on second or third jobs. They drive for skip the dishes or work at Amazon warehouses at night. The mistake isn't the hard work, it's the burnout trap. You are trading your health for pennies. In Canada, healthcare is free, but your time is not. If you burn yourself out and end up unable to work, the system will provide you with a hospital bed, but it won't pay your mortgage. The visceral feeling of waking up at 5 a.m., working until 11 p.m., and seeing your bank account still hovering near zero is enough to break anyone's spirit. This is the treadmill of the working poor. To get ahead, you don't need to work more hours. You need to make your hours worth more. But the system is designed to keep you on the treadmill, because a tired population is a population that doesn't have the energy to question why a one-bedroom apartment costs $2,500 a month.
The safe investment trap is where many conservative newcomers lose out. Coming from volatile economies, many immigrants prioritize safety above all else. They put their money in GICs, guaranteed investment certificates. While the principle is safe, the real rate of return is often negative when you factor in inflation and taxes. If a GIC pays 4%, but inflation is 3%, and your marginal tax rate is 30%, you are actually losing purchasing power. You are safely becoming poorer every year. The mistake is not understanding the Canadian stock market and the power of diversified ETFs. The emotional fear of losing money prevents you from the only thing that can actually save you from the disappearing middle class: assets that outpace inflation. You have to overcome the trauma of your home country's financial instability to embrace the tools of your new country. If you don't, you will be a spectator to the wealth creation of others, watching from the sidelines as the gap between the rich and the rest of us becomes a canyon. Let's talk about the social pressure of the Canadian immigrant community. There is often a hidden competition within ethnic enclaves to show that you have made it. This leads to the mistake of keeping up with the Singhs or the Wongs or the Smiths. You see a family friend buy a detached home, and suddenly you feel inadequate in your condo. You see them host an extravagant wedding, and you feel you must do the same. This status debt is a poison. It forces you to make financial decisions based on other people's perceptions rather than your own reality. The visceral pain of being house poor, where you have a beautiful home but can't afford to put gas in the car, is a direct result of this pressure. In Canada, the truly wealthy are often the ones who look the most ordinary. They drive 10-year-old Toyotas and shop at Costco, while the people struggling to survive are wearing Canada Goose jackets they bought on a credit card. Which one are you going to be? The mental health toll is the hidden cost of all these money mistakes. Financial stress is the leading cause of divorce and health issues among newcomers. The dream of a better life for your children starts to feel like a nightmare when you and your spouse are constantly arguing about the grocery bill. The mistake is sufferance in silence. Newcomers often don't seek financial counseling or mental health support because of the stigma. They carry the weight of the disappearing middle class on their shoulders until they snap. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about the quality of your life. If you are constantly in survival mode, your brain cannot function in growth mode. You become reactive instead of proactive. You make desperate decisions, like taking out a high-interest payday loan that only deepen the hole. The curiosity gap here is, how do you break the cycle of stress? It starts with admitting that the Canadian dream you were sold is a fantasy, and you need to build a Canadian reality that actually works. The systemic ceiling is the realization that the Canadian economy is rigged toward those who already own assets. The mistake many newcomers make is thinking they can work their way to wealth. In a high-tax, high-cost-of-living environment, labor is taxed heavily, while assets, like your primary residence, are taxed lightly or not at all. This means that someone who bought a house in 2010 for $400,000 and saw it rise to $1.2 million has earned more than you ever will at your $100K a year job. This is a bitter pill to swallow. It feels unfair, because it is. To break through this ceiling, you cannot rely solely on your paycheck. You must become an owner. Whether it's owning a small business, owning stocks, or eventually owning real estate, you have to move from the labor side of the ledger to the capital side. If you stay as just a worker, you are the fuel for someone else's fire. The curiosity gap? How do you start when you have nothing? It begins with the one mistake we haven't talked about yet, the biggest one of all.
The biggest money mistake new immigrants make in Canada? It's blind integration. It's the act of following the standard Canadian path without questioning it. The standard path is get a job, get a credit card, get a car loan, rent an expensive apartment, buy a house you can't afford, and work until you're 65. This path worked in 1995. In 2024, this path leads to a life of quiet desperation and debt. The shadow fact is that the traditional Canadian middle-class life is now a luxury product that is being sold to you on credit. The mistake is trying to live a 1990s lifestyle on a 2024 salary. To survive, you have to be radically unconventional. You have to live below your means in a way that feels uncomfortable. You have to ignore the social pressure. You have to educate yourself on the CRA, the TFSA, and the stock market more than a typical Canadian would. You are in a high-stakes game now, and the rules have changed. If you play by the old rules, you lose. But if you learn the new rules, Canada can still be the place you hoped it would be. So, how do you fix it? The survival strategy for the new Canadian is simple but difficult. First, kill the lifestyle before it kills you. Live in a smaller place than you can afford. Drive a car that is an embarrassment to your neighbors. Second, master the tax shield. Every dollar you put into an RRSP or TFSA is a dollar that government can't touch. Third, bypass the bank salesman. Use discount brokerages and buy the world economy through ETFs. Fourth, build Canadian experience on your own terms. Volunteer, network, and never settle for a survival job for more than 12 months. The pain you feel today is the price of admission to a new life, but don't pay that price forever. The curiosity gap we started with, the secret to thriving, is realizing that Canada is a great place to be wealthy, but a difficult place to become wealthy. You have to be smarter, faster, and more disciplined than the average person. You have to be the CEO of your own life, not just an employee of the Canadian system.
The middle class may be disappearing, but you don't have to disappear with it. You came here for a reason. You sacrificed your home, your friends, and your comfort for a shot at something better. Don't let that sacrifice be for nothing, because you fell for a credit card offer or a shiny SUV. The visceral struggle of the first few years is real, but it can be the foundation of a legendary story. If you've made these mistakes, don't panic. Pivot. Start today. Open that TFSA. Cancel that luxury subscription. Look at your Loblaws receipt and find a cheaper way. The shadow fact is that the system only wins if you stay ignorant. Now that you know the traps, you are already ahead of 90% of the people who landed on the same day you did. This is your journey. This is your Canada. Make it count. If this resonated with your struggle, subscribe and join our community of Canadians who are taking their power back from the banks and the bills. We have more to uncover, and the next open loop is just beginning. Do you know the one investment that is actually recession-proof in the GTA? We'll see you